Hi, this is Ted. Today I want to talk real quickly about Sozo. What do they call it? Sozo prayer? Sozo healing? Sozo. I want to talk about Sozo. That stuff that comes out of Bethel Church in Redding, California. That stuff that helps you dig into your past and find all the demons in your life and get rid of them all. And so that you can be less of a reactionary person and be cleansed of all these things. All right, this, as I mentioned in my last video on the Sozo, it steals from Freudian psychology. The Freudian psychology at its basics is that you have memories, you have things that are stuffed in your brain that you don't even know you got. And it's back there, and you need to retrieve it in order to find out why you act the way you do. And once you find it, it helps you then to learn better ways of dealing with whatever it is that you're afraid of or that makes you react in weird ways. All right, Scientology took from this model and they changed it. First of all, you got to trash everything you take from you. Oh, it's bad, it's evil, it's terrible. Yet you got to borrow from it. And they just changed the terms. But they're doing the same thing. They will go back in your time. They will audit you. All right. As you're being audited, you go back in time into your past and you dig into things that happened to you and how that has affected you today and what you should do. Once all those memories are dealt with, you are clear. Better than that, you can go back to past lives. And you can get rid of some of the hardships that you dealt with in your past life. For example, if I was a tree in my past life, okay, and dogs constantly peed on me, I'd get really ticked off. But fortunately, I can get rid of all that energy that is in me, that negative stuff that affects me today. All right. Now, that's Scientology. The Sozo prayer, no different. Basically, they'll take the same concept, Freudian, dig into the past, find out when it first happened, find out how you reacted, learn different ways, etc., etc. They put on spiritual imagery, spiritual terminology. They're just covering up a Freudian, psychological dig into the past. That's all they're doing. However, how are they covering up? They're borrowing from different things. And the first thing they borrow from is the demonization that takes place. Now, the charismatic movement for many years has believed that Christians can be demon-possessed or demonically influenced. And that has evolved. The fact that Christians can be demon-possessed or influenced, that goes back a ways. But I don't know when it became so popular. I know that Derek Prince was the first time I ever heard it in 1971, and he talked about Christians being demonized. And I really thought back in the 1971 and 1972, I thought Christians were demon-possessed because they're chewing their fingernails. Any kind of habit was demon-related. Fortunately, I got out of that kind of garbage. In fact, I was embarrassed by that for many, many years. But now I see how popular it is. So that's one avenue. But there's another avenue too. As this developed, something called territorial spirits took hold. And that is that demons have this hierarchy. And they're over the nation. They're the principalities in power. And they're all over the earth. And back in the Garden of Eden, Adam gave authority of this world. When he sinned, he gave authority of this world over to Satan. So Satan now controls it with his demons. But Jesus, at the cross, began a work that we can now, one by one, territory by territory, take away the spirits that control them and give it to God. Well, that's kind of territorial spirits. And spiritual mapping is finding out what spirits are in each city and getting rid of them. whatever city I'm in has its spirits you got to map and then start getting rid of so that the gospel can get in there and really take hold. This is spiritual mapping. Spiritual mapping also kind of takes place in the Sozo journey. Because what they're going to say is, as you're going back in time, you're going to learn where Satan has taken territory in your life. And it's not possession, not always. It might be something that's possessed, but he has taken territory. And because you gave over something to him, he's got it now. So we're not going to talk about endorphins. We're not going to talk about dopamine. We're not going to be talking about the things that just go on that create habits. But we're going to talk about how did devils get in there and take territory in your life. So even though you're a Christian, God has a lot of your life, but there's areas that you need to dig into and find out what happened. And it even goes so far as many will think and believe, all right, I was attacked and abused as a kid. I wasn't, but let's pretend, let's for the sake of argument say I was. I was attacked, and that person who attacked me and abused me gave me demons. Now, as a Christian, because that still bothers me, because those memories still affect me, that's because demons are in me, messing with me, and I got to get rid of them. And Sozo healing will help me to get rid of them. All right, so what we're seeing is, at its core, it's nothing more than Freudian psychology with different terms, different terminology. And that terminology is borrowed from, and the concepts are borrowed from spiritual mapping and territorial spirits. This is Ted. Have a good day.